Welcome, good morning. Thank you for joining us today for the second day of the SAP and SAP Fioneer Financial Services Forum. I hope you had a great day yesterday with many good sessions and many good meetings and networking opportunities with your colleagues, with partners, and hopefully you'll have the same today. And thank you for getting up also early. I know it's early in one of the first sessions. My name is Katharina Müllers-Patel, and I'm SAP's Global Head of Service and Financial Service Industries. And I'm really happy to be back on stage after our first forum jointly with SAP Fioneer in Amsterdam last year, and to have the opportunity to meet with many of our great customers and partners at this event. After we launched SAP Fioneer, we were often asked the question, what is SAP's strategy in financial services and how will you work together with SAP Fioneer? And these are the questions we are going to address in a panel today. And there's obviously nobody better than answering the questions than the leaders of these businesses. Falk Rieker, SAP's Global Head of Banking, Mitch Bouchard, SAP Fioneer's Head and President of the Americas, and Tony Tomic, SAP's Head of the Insurance Business. So thank you so much for joining us today, and let's start our session. Mitch, maybe I'll start with you. Can you introduce SAP Fioneer, how we work together between SAP and SAP Fioneer, and what the benefits are for our customers?
Thank you, and good morning to everybody. So it's been an exciting 18 months. We went from SAP Fioneer not existing 18 months ago to launching the company by implementing S4 ourselves and all those things. But a couple things were our priorities. Number one was we needed to ensure that the clients that had made investments in SAP and SAP Fioneer solutions continued to have a stable experience, and the systems were up and running. Many of them had large projects taking place. We needed to deliver on those commitments. So that was the first thing we needed to do. But what's also exciting is we've now engaged with many of our clients in conversations around co-innovation. Right? We had a very, very robust core banking solutions, so the finance solutions we brought over, but our clients wanted more from us, right? And one of the key focuses for us was how do we engage with our clients, bring them into the lab, start doing more co-innovation with them. And what was exciting for us from a North America perspective is we have a lab in Toronto, right? And what makes that exciting is we can now focus on what our clients in North America are also asking for from SAP and SAP Fioneer. So from an experience perspective, how you engage with us, I think feels a little different because we are looking at opportunities to build new products, roll it into standard, which means that it's much more sustainable and manageable for our clients, and continue to build out the roadmap. And it's all built on SAP technology, which they love, today, right? If you look at the financial control system, that solution that we introduced yesterday, that's all built on top of S4, right? So you don't have to introduce new technologies or things like that into your environments. So it's really about building out the ecosystem and building the strength of our portfolio with our clients and with SAP.
Really great to see the innovation focus, and lots of opportunities here at the conference to learn more about this, for sure. Falk, maybe you want to add a little bit your point of view from an SAP perspective here.
Yeah, for me, the main thing is we heard yesterday from the customers like AIG, the Bank of London, Banco Atlantida, and many others that presented. And you will probably have noticed they have one thing in common, all of them. So trick question for all of you. What is it? They use solutions from SAP and SAP Fioneer. So, and this is exactly what this partnership is about. Yeah? We want to double down on financial services, and we want to bring the power to the street. Meaning, from an SAP perspective, we will focus on cloud ERP. We'll have other solutions surrounding that, like human capital management, spend management, customer relationship management, the big building blocks of the SAP portfolio. Everything on one platform, business technology platform. Now, when it comes to Fioneer, Fioneer complements that portfolio with industry-specific solutions around core banking, core insurance, But also in the finance space, as Dirk yesterday in his keynote pointed out, with financial control or financial product subledger, as well as in the sustainability space. So it's a perfect combination to bring this together on one platform, end to end, and ultimately, that will have the benefit for our customers that they can run end-to-end processes for the different areas on one platform, and that's standardization, that's automation, and that's operational efficiency at the end of the day.
Tony, is there anything you'd like to add from an insurance perspective?
Yeah, I mean, just looking into the North American market and the customers we've been meeting here over the course of yesterday and today, I believe that if we saw yesterday AIG, we've been speaking with Equitable, Liberty Mutual just recently went live with their global ledger. So I believe all these customers have, as well what Falk said, one thing in common. We jointly work with SAP and SAP Finding to provide those solutions to the customers. And this has proven that we really can accelerate as well the usage of our software there.
So all of you have been in the industries for many years. You speak with customers every day. So maybe, Tony, I continue with you. What are you hearing from our customers? What are their main business imperatives in this time of disruption?
I mean, if we look into what's going on right now in the market, I think we have within the last 2 years, the complete opposite situation in the market when it comes to financial services as we had them before. We have raising interest rates, right? We have inflation on one end, and we see that 3 things are top of mind with every insurance and banking company or financial service institution. And that's how can we drive business model innovation? How can we become actually an intelligent enterprise? And that means how can we utilize the software solutions we are having? How can we have machine learning, AI capabilities embedded in those solutions to as well attract the necessary talent that's needed, right? Especially in our industry with the modern solution. That would be my first aspect to that. And all these changes that we see outside require business model innovation. Require as well that we have, that brings me to my second point, that we have business networks operating. Right? So where we speak a lot about embedded financial services, we speak a lot about that you use, for example, a service out of a car manufacturing company in automotive, and you do not even recognize that insurance is already embedded there, right? Be it car sharing, be it other models there. And I think that we will see financial services everywhere, but we might not see the banks, we might not see the insurers. We see others that are taking on the engagement with the customer, but insurance and banking being embedded. Right now, the question is: are the banks and insurers being the orchestrators, or are we just being the suppliers? And I think the truth is somewhere in between. But I definitely believe that the aspect of business networks, companies investing into wealth, mobility, health, and utilizing those services from an insurance and banking perspective are key. And last but not least, I think sustainability is a topic of our generation. I mean, we need really to make sure that, especially in financial services, are we doing the right investments, right? Are we fulfilling the regulatory needs when we are doing these investments into the funds? Are we invested still too much into mining, right? Are we invested into renewable energy? Topics like green ledger are coming up with SAP Finding as the hot topics as well for the future. And I definitely believe that those 3 aspects are going to drive as well the innovations that financial service companies always have brought to the table, right?
Absolutely. So maybe we'll dig deeper into these 3 now. Tony, you already mentioned the disruption financial services, and frankly, the world is now going through with the pandemic and the rising of interest rates, inflation post-pandemic. That puts huge stress on companies, on organizations, and we're seeing our customer more and more push towards more resilient, agile business processes and businesses overall. Falk, can you talk about how SAP can help with that transition and that transformation?
Yeah. Let's talk about RISE. Yeah. And how did we get to RISE? Yeah. I think it's important for everyone to understand what's the difference from a pure move to the cloud, where you shift technology into a cloud infrastructure. RISE is different. RISE is a business transformation as a service. And here we look at the business process optimization. We obviously have packaged offerings to make the cloud migration as easy as possible. But it goes along with adding additional innovations as part of the whole transformation journey to get really the business benefits as well, which you expect as part of your cloud migration. And that's something which resonated very well with our customers and quite frankly was brought up by the customers. So this is a classic example where we came up with a solution based on customer demand. And when you look at some of the logos and some of the success we had over the past 18 months, it's quite astonishing. In financial services alone, we had 200 plus customers that made use of that offering in the meanwhile. Across SAP, more than 2,000. That's something which, quite frankly, we didn't expect.
So RISE is one side, but then there's also the question of how do you bring the industry-specific process in, and that's the flip side of the coin, right? So RISE is one side, but then the industry innovation needs to come right with it. How do we realize that, Falk?
Now, we have started an initiative called Industry Cloud, and this is done across 25 industries in SAP. And here we look at the industry-specific processes that need to complement and enhance our core business processes around the core portfolio I talked earlier. Financial services is no different, with one difference. We obviously have a number one partner called SAP Pioneer, which gives us a jump start with all the solutions they have in their portfolio. So SAP Pioneer is not the only partner. So we have other partners which are here as well. So I saw some of them already over the past couple of days. So MyWave has their solution in the Industry Cloud. Then we have MSG having their solution in the Industry Cloud. PwC has a solution in the Industry Cloud. Ernst & Young is coming up with a couple of offerings here. Brisken, I saw earlier, has solutions in the Industry Cloud. So this will be a very powerful ecosystem that provides these cloud solutions as part of our business technology platform in the Industry Cloud and enables our customer that they have the choice to run end-to-end industry processes on one technology platform.
So think of RISE as the socket, right? And where we can plug the Industry Cloud solutions on top of it, right? Hopefully that's a good analogy. So maybe following up on the second imperative, business networks. So you shared a little bit about this already, Tony, and this is most certainly also a trend across other services industries, other industries. Now, what does this now mean specifically in the insurance world?
Yeah, I think we see it right now happening actually a lot in our conversations with chief strategy officers of both banks and insurance companies. And the question we get often from them is, hey, SAP, how can you become a business network for us? How can we actually embed ourselves into your business model? And I give you a couple of examples what that concretely means. I mean, we as SAP, we have the largest network of buyers and suppliers in the world. So we, in fact, are the Amazon of the B2B business with 5 million companies on that platform, on this business network with $42 trillion in value that's managed on an annual basis on it. And now, obviously, the question of insurance companies is, can we sell credit risk insurance through that platform? Can we get access to those 5 million customers you have? That's one example. Another example, on our HR platforms, only with SuccessFactors, we have 242 million users. Just imagine now, from an insurance carrier's perspective, that those 5,000 companies that are using that solution are collaborating and providing access to the information of their employees, right? To have better retirement plans, right? Better pension plans offered to to the individuals. And then maybe a third example on it is, I mean, SAP is very much known for being big in manufacturing, being big in supply chain. If you are an insurance company, and we had this, just recently finished a proof of concept with a big insurance carrier globally that said, SAP, can we jointly create a reporting on your solutions covering the digital supply chain so that we can better advise the customers that have insured themselves with us for their commercial business so that we can advise them, here's a risk with regards to your suppliers. Just simple things, but kind of in the end, to me, these are the models that currently are discussed. I think we still are a bit here in the beginning, but I definitely believe that's going to be definitely the future in accelerating the business networks. And I think with us, with 400,000 customers operating in 25 industries, and having vast majority of the data, that's, I think, really crucial that we can provide those business models to the insurance customers and financial services customers.
Great, thank you. Falk, what are some of the examples of business network opportunities in banking?
So first of all, I think it's very important to point out that the business network strategy changes the nature of the relationship with our customers. So many of our customers just look at us as a software partner. When we talk about business networks, we're becoming business partners. So what do I mean by that? We encourage partners to use our networks to position their offerings as well. We want to make sure that our customers in the networks get the best possible service. So one example for that is when you look at medium and smaller enterprises, they normally have a harder time than large enterprises to get services around working capital management for various reasons. Yeah? So this came up as a significant problem, especially over the past 3-4 years with the supply chain disruptions. And feedback from our customers was, how can you help us to improve offerings around working capital management? So as a consequence, we have decided to buy a working capital management platform called Taulia. Now, I heard some people saying, is SAP now entering the banking business? No, not our intention. Our intention is to improve the service for our corporate customers. Taulia is the vehicle to bring banks on the platform to offer their working capital management services around supply chain management via Taulia. And this is just one example how the business network creates new business opportunities for our customers as well. And you will see more examples in the future.
And a great way also to look at innovations going forward to really transform. The third imperative, Tony, you mentioned, was around sustainability, and that's a key topic for many customers across industries, but also for financial services. And it's also a key priority, especially for our millennial and Gen Z colleagues. So this is an area, I think we spoke about this a little bit earlier, also where both SAP and SAP Fine are investing. How does this fit now together? Mitch, maybe you can start.
Well, if you look at the portfolio that we have, there's two things that we do is, if you look at where we're FPSL from a product perspective, and the data that we're actually able to collect when we when we implement this with some of our banking and insurance clients, we're actually able to understand and fulfill whatever reporting requirements we're going to start seeing down the road coming up from an ESG perspective. So that's number one. But number two is what we've also seen in banking is what we call this verticalization of processes. And we've actually started to see some clients look at how do they actually manage the ESG lending portfolio, right? So how do you actually do ESG lending, right? Have that flow all the way through right into how you report to regulators in the future. And we have the technology to actually manage that process from a core banking perspective, lending deposits all the way from the beginning to the end of the life cycle when it comes to ESG. So for us, this is an exciting growth opportunity. and an area of investment for us. And it's going to basically be driven off of the strength of some of the solutions we already have today.
An exciting but also very important growth
Very
opportunity.
important. Yes.
Tony, what about your point of view from an insurance perspective?
Yeah, I think what Mitch already described, I think in this combined approach where we have, and from an SAP perspective, we will have sustainability, KPIs, metrics embedded in nearly all of our solution portfolio across everything we have. And the combination out of it between what is there in the operating processes like within lending, with the core banking platforms, plus what we, for example, have on the SuccessFactors side in terms of talent management and so on. We are combining this really to satisfy as well the upcoming regulatory needs. And we see kind of that, whereas maybe 3 years ago I wouldn't have said that sustainability is becoming a CFO topic, with the increasing regulation and with the regulatory bodies that have been responsible for international accounting standards now being responsible as well for sustainability standards. I see that this is kind of getting together. And in the end, it's a data game. In the end, it's really about data. It's about the KPIs. It's about really having access to information. We provide this from an operational perspective with all of our companies, but we bring it as well together in solutions like our Sustainability Cloud, the Sustainability Control Tower. We just are working on a big program with Munich Re where we are rolling out this to 26 countries in one of the primary insurers, right? An entire sustainability reporting that allows you to leverage those capabilities and have this out of the box delivered. And we had great support by the partners that Falk has mentioned, like PwC and MSG, that kind of brought as well the expertise together in those programs. So I definitely believe that the joint value proposition we have is unmatched there in the market. Because on one hand, you look into the operational processes for core banking. On the other hand, you bring the other elements together out of the SAP portfolio. So I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I agree. It's the mirror of our portfolio strategy where we provide the core, but then the industry specificity will be provided by our partners, our very powerful partner ecosystem. It's a really, really good approach. Falk, maybe some comments from a banking perspective?
I will leave that up to a presentation which takes place at 10:50. Tom Pfaff from Standard Chartered will illustrate what Standard Chartered Bank does around sustainability.
Great answer. All right. So maybe my last question, taking out the crystal ball. What will the future bring for financial services, for SAP and SAP Fioneer? Mitch, starting with you.
Well, there's a few things. First of all, we have a long list of things clients want us to do today, right? And we are committed to working through that list with our clients, via co-innovation. So we will get through that list. Second thing I would say, though, is, and Tony mentioned this briefly, is this concept of not embedded financial services, but embedded banking and embedded insurance within non-FSI clients' processes, right? And we see this picking up. And we're never going to be offering what I call banking as a service because we're never going to go get a banking license, right? But what we're seeing some of our corporate clients wanting to do that, right? Whether it be a Walgreens or a Walmart or a Nutrien, right? They're wanting to start offering some of these, what I'd call more financial services types of capabilities to their clients, leveraging the assets that they have sitting on their balance sheets. So I think this is something that we all have to watch in the FSI industry, because in a way it's a little bit of it also speaks to like what experience do we control, right? Because the world is becoming an experience-driven type of model, and if you provide financial services but you're not in control of the experience that's being delivered to the client, right? So if the experience has to do with an insurance claim, well then you own that experience. But when it comes to buying insurance, it might be the auto dealer that actually is owning that experience at that moment of time. So you need to figure out how to embed yourself within the life cycle of an experience that a client is engaging in. So, and I think that's where the exciting opportunities are going to be found.
Very much agree that the blurring of industry lines will open up so many new combinations where we can bet ourselves in different value chains, and that's a very, very exciting prospect. Tony, your point of view?
Yeah, I think to me it's about three things. I think first of all, the situation we are currently in, on one hand being resilient, on the other hand ensuring growth. that's going to be, I think, a topic for the next time ahead of us. But this can only be done with really technology-driven innovations in banking, insurance, financial services. So I believe that the focus on driving technology-driven innovations is kind of the second topic that I would outline here. And the third topic is, we often forget it, I think talent in our industry is a crucial piece. Yeah? And attracting the right talent, providing this talent with the right tools, capabilities, with what they know from the universities where they are coming from, right? With machine learning, AI, with careers in financial services. I think that's as well going to be a key for financial service institutions to attract the right talent, to have the right innovations, and to have the right innovative models in place and the right business models in place.
And that's where it also ties back to our discussion on sustainability, also providing the right purpose. Absolutely. And Falk, your point of view?
Yeah, number one, most importantly, we are only successful if our customers are successful. So therefore, our mission is to help our customers grow their business, stay resilient, adopt technology with programs like RISE. Second point, we have made a bold move with Fioneer. I think that's something which we will now bring to the street and double down on financial services. Yeah, so that's the message you should take away from that combination, SAP and SAP Fioneer. We are doubling down on both sides, on the SAP core portfolio, as well as on the industry-specific solutions with Fioneer and our cloud, industry cloud partner system.
So with that, I would like to thank my dear panelists for sharing their insights this morning. And again, thank you for joining us today. And wish you a fantastic day ahead with many good sessions and networking opportunities. And I also want to encourage you to join our next session. Paolo from IBM is going to provide a very inspiring session and share his insights on along the lines of the strategy discussions we have right now. So please stay and enjoy that session and ask a lot of good questions, please. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.